All right, Ralph here, Boricua Sense. This episode is brought to you in part by the good folks at Torombolo. And today, we are going to talk about Two by the House of Joe Milano. When you think of Joe Milano, the first thing you think of is Game of Spades. I'm here to tell you that they also have others. This line is called Levante. We're going to talk about this one right here, which is Blue Noir. And we're going to talk about Levante Intense. So if this is interesting to you, stay tuned. Okay, so let's start with Blue Noir. Now, I was looking at stuff and these popped up and I'm like, wait a minute, Joe Milano fragrance that is not crazy expensive? My goodness, let's pull the trigger. And this one, if I'm not mistaken, was $20 on Amazon, 21 bucks on Amazon, which for a Joe Milano, that's pretty unheard of. And Intense was maybe a couple of bucks more. So upon further examination, this is their take on Versace Eros, the blue one, which, yes, it's a DNA that's been done 800,000 times, but given the fact that this is an older one, I guess that's why it's so cheap. I'm like, you know what? Let's get it. On the box that I'm keeping because those are good boxes. Bottle is pretty simple. It's, like this. It's like a square type bottle, glass, heavy. This cap is a little plastic. The other one is a little better. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Now, when you spray this, what do you get? Now, keep in mind, I haven't worn these yet. This just arrived this week. But I'm here to tell you, wow, this is nice. This is nice. It's basically Versace Eros on steroids. I have Versace Eros. I've talked about it before. I've talked about other inspos that I have on it. And at least on me, it doesn't last a long time. It really does not. I'm lucky if I get maybe 4 hours. Some people get more, some people may get less. I don't have cactus skin, I moisturize, so, and where I live can be humid, so, that typically doesn't mean that it doesn't make it dry off, let's just say. This is nice. If you like that Eros DNA and you have the same issue that I do that don't last for shit on you, go to Amazon. This is really cheap. I'm talking 21 bucks if I'm not mistaken. Joe Milano, Levante Blue Noir. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Levante Intense. If I'm not mistaken, this is their take on Bond number 9 Sutton Place. But I tell you, when I smell this, I get Invictus Aqua, which I'm not complaining because I love that DNA. But if it's something that I could add in my collection as something else, Sutton Place, hey, okay, cool, whatever. But now I don't. Something in my mouth. Holy shit. When you think of Invictus Aqua, you're gonna automatically think of Hawas, Hawas Ice, all that kind of stuff. This is very similar to Hawas Ice, but I'm picking up maybe a little extra fruit, maybe because of jasmine. I don't know, but this is nice. This is killer. I don't know if this is some sort of new formulation. It's got the sticker of authenticity, but on here it doesn't say Joe Milano. But here, this whole hunk of thing, this is magnetic. And I mean, this is a strong magnet. The other one, that's not. But I think this one came out afterwards, I don't know. But this is killer. Both of these, if you get them both together, you're not going to be spending 45 bucks, probably less. They're both killer. If you are familiar with that, you know, Bond one, then maybe you can, if you get your hands on this, you can compare it. I've never smelt it. I've really never really heard much about it, except for just on Fragrantica. But I will say that when I smell this, I get Invictus Aqua. I have several inspos of Invictus Aqua, and this is what I'm getting out of this. I don't know if it's going to last as much as my other ones, but I can safely assume that, being that it's a Joe Milano, yes, they do quality stuff, but their claim to fame has to be Game of Spades. I don't own any Game of Spades. I don't plan on buying any Game of Spades because, in this humble man's opinion, they are very overpriced. And I'm sure it's good. Yeah, the bottles are great. Atomizer, oh, fantastic. But do I see me paying almost $100 for something that's inspired by something that if I just maybe throw in a few extra bucks, I'll get the original? Then why? You know what I'm saying? Unless it's duping something that costs $300-400, then then I'll look into Game of Space. But everything that they put out, I have inspos of or other versions, so I'm not really crying about it or going nuts over it. But nonetheless, this is very nice. This is very nice. Again, go to Amazon. That's going to get them the cheapest, unless you see them somewhere else. But 20s, both. So these are good deal. So, and again, these are older because I'm staying away from all this new stuff that is being pumped out right now because I've had here lately. I've gotten several that are the new stuff, being hyped, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is the coolest thing," and then when I get it, I'm like, "Really? Wow, this is shit." So the older stuff, yeah, it's good stuff. So, all right, till the next time. Later.